So, Jack, would it be safe to say that verse 1 through 17, for those who are watching, they could open up Alma 36 and read verse 1 through 17 and mark every instance of it's all the bad. This is all of his life of sin. In essence, you could summarize verse 1 through 17 with one word. This is what it feels like these are the pains of a damned soul. He's describing hell here.
Yeah, that's kind of what we tend to emphasize. But if you begin, there's a prologue. And the prologue is a positive one. It says, "My son, give ear to my words." That's the first thing you do. You have to listen to the words and give strict heed to the commandments of God. Now, he will end by also mentioning the commandments of God, and he will then say at the very end, and this is according to his words. What he's done there is he begins by giving ear to my words, but at the end, you are now prepared to give heed to God's words. You can see the shift. So there's a progression there. The hell and the joy, or the pain and the joy, when he's in the very depths of his 3 days of being racked with
eternal torment.
Yeah. And then he wants to make sure that we understand this can't just be one word. It has to be a whole set of feelings. And that's why he said it was as exceeding as was my pain, because it's got all of these features in it as well. So as a person analyzes this, think about all of the ways in which an unrepented sin will lead your life into pain and suffering and spiritual regret and remorse and all of the things that sin does to you. And then now think of all of the things that conversion will do to you. And that's kind of this block of things. In this area, the chiasm doesn't work out as, what would we say, as meticulously as in the early part.
Right.
But there are different rhetorical devices being used in each of these cases that are comparable in the heaven and hell comparison. One of them, for example, is where he said that he did not want to go into the presence of God. He wanted to be banished and extinct. He just couldn't stand the thought.
He just didn't want to exist anymore.
But then how does he explain the joy? He now says, "Yea, my joy was as exceeding as was my pain, and I thought I saw, even as our father Lehi saw, God seated on his throne, surrounded by numberless concourses of angels in the attitude of singing and praising their God." And what he's doing there is quoting a whole block of text from 1 Nephi chapter 1 to say how much he now wants to be, like Lehi, brought into the heavenly presence and into the council of all those glorious beings. So, in other words, the contrast here is elaborate, and there are some other things going on than just the direct inversion.